All right, Chad, we got a new update on the Jurassic World sequel. Yay. Ugh. Jurassic World sequel reveals title and first look at stars Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali. Studio announced Thursday that director Gareth Edwards' movie, which is set to hit theaters July 2nd, 2025, that's next year, chap, is titled Jurassic World Rebirth. Universal shared two first look images showing leads Scarlett Johansson, Jonathan Bailey, Marshall Lee, who star in the film alongside Rupert Friend, Manuel Garcia Ruffalo. Jurassic World Rebirth takes place 5 years after the events of filmmaker Colin Trevorrow's Jurassic World Dominion. Don't remind me. The series' previous installment that hit theaters in June 2022 and starred Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard alongside Jurassic Park returnees. Yeah, all of them. They did nothing with them, too. The film franchise launched in 1993 of Steven Spielberg's smash Jurassic Park based on an author Michael Crichton's 1990 science fiction novel of the same name. In the new movie, only a limited number of dinosaurs remain and live in specialized biospheres. And 3 of these creatures hold the key to a potentially life-saving drug. COVID operation expert Zora Bennett Johansson attempts to secure genetic material from the dinosaurs, but ends up stranded with a civilian family on an island that holds a secret being kept from humanity for decades. They're going to do the hybrid. But they're saying like a secret secret being. It's going to be a dino-human hybrid. Edwards, Rogue One. Let's take it easy there. He's not the director of Rogue One. He's not the director of Rogue One. That's Tony Gilroy directed Rogue One. Okay, Gareth Edwards directed a Rogue One movie that we've never seen, but he's not the director of that film. Jurassic World Rebirth, and a script by David Cope, who worked on Jurassic Park and its 1997 sequel, The Lost World Jurassic Park. I never liked that title. Why are you putting Jurassic Park after The Lost World? Shouldn't it be called Jurassic Park: The Lost World? Whatever. New movie is based on characters created by Crichton, yada yada. Frank Marshall and Patrick Crowley, who have also been longtime force in Jurassic franchise, produced Jurassic World Rebirth. Yeah, Spielberg. Spielberg as executive producer means absolutely nothing. If you think he's having any type of he's putting any feedback into this, or he has any notes, no, he's just collecting a paycheck. This new film will hit theaters nearly 3 years after the initial Jurassic World trilogy. You know, the other movies surpassed $1 billion global box office. Yeah, based on that description, I have no confidence in this film. It just feels like they're just doing the same goddamn thing again. So now they're making this a globe-trotting adventure where we got to go around the world and we got to like get the DNA of the dinosaurs. And so it's like, okay, those are the set pieces. And then it's all going to culminate in like we're on the island again. We're just doing that. And I guess the other new thing, what's with these fucking hybrids in movies that are popping up in these long-running franchises? All these hybrids. Jesus Christ. And they're going to deal with that most likely. Yeah, I have no... And listen, I'll say this again. I don't think Gareth Edwards is a particularly good director. I think visually he has an eye for that kind of stuff. Like The Creator, which that came out last year, right? Yeah. Such a forgettable movie. Like, that movie looked gorgeous, and what he was able to accomplish with the budget that he was given, it's like, yeah, it looks great. Like, all the special effects, the CGI, kind of a little reminiscent of, like, Neil Blomkamp stuff, right? Like, District 9 is like, wow, you did so much of so little, and, that's admirable. But the story and the characters in that movie, I thought, were very disappointing. I mean, it doesn't help that you have a charisma vacuum in John David Washington, so that certainly didn't help the movie. But I didn't care for that. I thought his Godzilla film was supremely boring, and he's not the director of Rogue One. So I just like, what else has this guy done? And this is very much, they were looking for someone to direct this film. Like, we got to get a shooter. We got to get a shooter. Can you make it done quick? It's like, boom. And so, yeah, I think we've all learned our lesson with the Jurassic franchise at this point. It's especially after those last 3 movies, but especially those last 2 of Fallen Kingdom and Dominion. Dominion for me is the worst Jurassic movie, which is saying something because it's a franchise littered with awful films, aside from really the first one, which is the best. Obviously, one of my favorite movies of all time, and they've just never. Even Spielberg couldn't recapture the magic of the original movie. So yeah, I have no confidence in this. Everything that's described to me, I'm just like, nope. I've heard all this before. It's another globe-trotting adventure, and then we're all gonna end up on the island anyway. And you're probably gonna have a dino-human hybrid, which what was one of the early concepts for a Jurassic Park 4. You can find concept art of that. Digital concept art and like models that they were working on, and even in the most recent trilogy, they were kind of hinting at that. But it turned out, I always like the joke that the little clone girl, she's like a dinosaur human hybrid. She's not. She's just a clone. But But yeah, everything about this does not excite me whatsoever. Not in terms of like who's writing it or who's directing the cast. I mean, they're talented cast of people, but you can be the greatest actor in the world. But you have a shit script, you get in shit direction. Probably gonna give a shit performance. So not a lot of confidence. But how about you guys? How do you feel about another Jurassic sequel? What would you want? Let's see here. He's better than Trevorrow. I mean, what else has Trevorrow done? Like, he did Book of Henry. He did the smaller film. I forget what the hell it was called. Everything Must Go? Is that? No, that's not it. No, I forget the name of it. Well, I guess that says a lot. I can't remember it. Dominion was so disappointing. Yeah, Dominion, it just, everything about that film just made me mad. It's not really focused on there's just so much. Like, Fallen Kingdom is a really wretched movie through and through, but it did set up something very interesting at the very end, which is like, okay, dinosaurs are now on the mainland. How are you going to handle it? And Dominion just fucking, brushes all that away. So like, we just figured it out. What do you mean you just figured it out? And like, it's like takes place like 5 years after the events of Fallen Kingdom or however long, and it's like there's maybe like 50 related deaths connected to dinosaurs. Are you fucking serious? Like, or I think it's even less than that. I think it was like 40. I was like, what? And I found that so frustrating. And then so much of the movie is focused on fucking bugs, on these goddamn grasshoppers. They do absolutely nothing with the legacy characters, of Sam Neill and Laura Dern and Jeff Goldblum. Completely wasted. I have to be with Clone Girl, which they retcon all that bullshit with her, in the movie. And they don't hold her responsible for anything that happened. And they're alive like me. Just everything about that film just failed and was so disappointing. The Joker of dinosaurs, whatever the hell it was called. The Gorosaurus, the Giganosaurus or whatever. Sounded like a Godzilla enemy. Lame. Did nothing with it. The bird thing was much cooler than whatever that thing was. Yeah, and so this, I'm just like, yeah. Yeah. Let me see. Bishop Sycamore, welcome. If I just saw Terminator. No, but I'll be watching that this week, and I'll do a review for that next week. Big Smith said these Jurassic Park sequels all missed the point. Kind of impressive, really. There's Sycamore Dino Human Hybrid. That's the schlock I've been waiting for from Jurassic. I think you might be getting it. I think you might be getting it. Dominion was such a disappointment. It was through and through. I blame that Clone Girl. I bet she produced this shit. Oh, poor Clone Girl. Let's see here. Funny enough, the other writer of the other writer of the creator wrote a Freight. That's right. Oh shit. Look at that. Explains so much. Batboy, because the creator is such a derivative work of so many other, funny enough, AI movies. Oh my, holy shit, I just made the connection. Oh my God. Wow, that makes so much sense now. Because Afraid is so derivative and so run-of-the-mill and generic, especially when compared to like other movies focused on AI or TV shows or what have you. And so was the Chris. Like, holy, no wonder the writing's so bad. Oh my God. Well, there you go. We're going to find out Dr. Hammond put his DNA into a dino and made a dino man. Yeah, hell yeah, he did. He was a fucking freak, spared no expense. Marshall Lee's going to get a stupid death in this movie. Yeah, he is. The Jurassic Park franchise has a long, proud tradition of killing black people and brown people. Like, early on, too. Like, we're going to get... No, I will give them this. Like, the latest series, they didn't always kill the black guy. I got to give him that. Like, you had Chris Pratt's friend. He made it to the end. You kind of forget about him in the movie, but he survived. Justice Smith, he's alive in all of them. He survives in Fallen Kingdom, and obviously Dominion. He shows up for a bit. And then introduce another. They introduce a black woman as one of the leads in Dominion. They don't do anything with her. But she survives. So yeah, but in the OG franchise, if you're black, unless you know gymnastics. Now, if you're black and you know gymnastics, they're gonna be A-okay. But if you don't and you're brown, well, you're going down. This is how it's gonna be. Like, immediately, that poor fucking guy, that poor schmuck in the first 5 minutes of Jurassic Park, eaten. But Dominion was really bad. It was for Jurassic Park 3. Oh, really? That was one of the plans, was for 3. I thought it was for 4. I thought it was for the 4th film they were trying to develop and never coalesced, and they eventually did World. Safety not guaranteed, which I think is widely overrated. I actually like safety not guaranteed. I want a Jurassic Park movie where it's just dinosaurs and no humans. Well, they have like documentaries and things like that. You know, Walking of Dinosaurs. Big Smith live action Land Before Time is what we need. Let's do it. Dylan Murray, the plot twist is the brontosaurus that was left in the island during the volcano has been plotting revenge and has been building an army to take over by land, sea, and air. That's the one good scene in that movie with Fallen Kingdom. I always love bringing it up. I always like to think that like that brontosaurus is the representative of Jurassic Park, like the original film. Like, wait for me. It's just forgotten. It just dies, just surrounded by all that smoke and debris and liquid hot lava. That's the one scene in that movie that actually made me feel something. I was like, oh wow. Oh wow. Omar Sy, that's what it was. Was he in all the other ones? Was he what was he in? What was he in Fallen Kingdom? I don't remember. I think I remember Omar Sy. I remember Omar Sy in the third one, but I fucking know. I can't remember. Dominion. I don't remember him in all in Fallen Kingdom. To be fair, it has been a hot minute since I've seen it. Yes, Chris, especially for black people's in Jurassic movies. Samuel Jackson is so badass the arm was still smoking a cigar from when Larry Dern finds it. Yeah. Oh, Christ. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, I have no confidence in this. Just based on that description, I was like, no. It's like, I don't like the idea this is going to be another globe-trotting adventure. We got to go to all these different places to get dino DNA. So it's all the set pieces. So they're going to be big CGI spectacles again. And then we're all going to end up on the island and with a family. It's just like, fucking Christ. It's the same movie. You know, and Eric Edwards is not a good director. So he is in terms of generic spectacle, he's the king. He's the king of just generic spectacle. Ugh. So, the one thing that we can hope for, hopefully it'll look good, but we'll see. We'll see. I think the vengeful brontosaurus is a fantastic idea, and I hope they go with that. Yeah, it's the Jurassic Park 3 plot over again. Yeah, that too. We're stuck on the island and with a family that shouldn't be there, and the one element that's going to be new is possibly the hybrid dinosaur. So. We'll see. Trevorrow's also another guy like Snyder who keeps saying shit in interviews that makes no sense, like how he's inspired the Fallen Kingdom script by Bridge of Spies. I didn't even know about that. That doesn't make any sense. Bridge of Spies, Fallen Kingdom. What the hell is that? What's the connection? I don't even know what the connection is. I'm going through my mind like, huh? Well, I remember his whole like crazy statement about the Garganosaurus or what the hell it was called in Dominion. When they call it the Joker of dinosaurs, just wants to watch the world burn. I'm just like, what do you mean by that? And none of that. It's like that thing doesn't nothing like the Joker. That felt like such like a corporate executive thing to say. It felt like because that was, when did that movie come out? 2022. Well, you already had, of course, Batman, of course, and the Dark Knight and Heath Ledger, but then you also had Joaquin Phoenix like Joker movie, and that was a huge hit. And that's what the studio executives was like, yeah, say it's like the Joker or whatever. That movie made $1 billion. Compare it to that. It felt like such like a corporate thing to say. Even though it has nothing to do with those movies or those characters at all. Just terrible. Terrible. We're gonna find out this whole series is prequel to Flintstones. Let's fucking go. It's a living. He also said he liked how Bridge of Spies was a different movie in the beginning than it was at the end, and he tried doing the same with writing Fallen Kingdom. Oh. Is Bridge of Spies a different movie that starts to me? Is it? I guess I never thought of it that way. I mean, I guess for Fallen Kingdom, where it's initially the first half is an environmental disaster movie with the volcano, and then you got everything with just the dinosaur mayhem, I suppose. And then, which is typical. And then it becomes like a haunted house movie. With a fucking, whatever the hell that thing was. The Indoraptor, whatever. Yeah, that Indoraptor. Just being sassy the whole goddamn time. Oh, Lord. Now watch again. You see it's an old school spy drama the whole time. That's what I thought, I don't like Bridge of Spies either. I think it's that's another Spielberg whiff in my opinion. Very generic movie. But yeah, I'm not excited for Jurassic World Rebirth, or whatever the hell they're calling it now. Weren't we joking recently about naming another film Rebirth? It was something like, did we do it yesterday? I thought we were calling something else Rebirth. Alien? I think that's what we're saying. Like, Alien Rebirth. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you have that. What's this death scene? Got a classic death scene? Oh, yeah, that, yeah, in Jurassic Park 3. I can't show this because of copyright. But, yeah, they killed that poor black guy. And then, like, he had the walkie-talkie phone on him. And then, for whatever reason, they could still hear it in the thing's stomach. Oh, Christ. I think it was for the Alien franchise or something. All right, well, there you go, chap. Thought that'd be interesting to talk about. Jurassic. I could probably put that up there. Yeah, put that up there. My thoughts on this. I'm not excited for this movie. Nope. No, man, to be fair, I wasn't excited for Fallen Kingdom. I wasn't excited for Dominion either. Like, you can argue World's probably the first World movie is the best out of those three, because the other two are just, at least that movie, like, had moments of, like, oh, that was kind of cool. Had a fucking kaiju battle at the end between the T-Rex and the whatever the thing was called, the Indominus Rex. Like, it had that, But, and I like the idea, the premise that they got the park working. Like, that's interesting to me. I was like, okay, you can do something with that. But then, yeah, Fallen Kingdom is just a failure through and through, from the beginning to the middle to the end. And then Dominion kind of just, in my opinion, like, doubles down all the dumb that Fallen Kingdom had, and just replaces the dinosaur with bugs. I was like, what are you doing? And not even cool bugs. Like, that actually is like, all right, if they were like giant spiders and like giant, like, if they wanted to more adhere to like those kind of 50s, the atomic age movies where radiation makes everything big, and they want to do like giant bugs versus, now maybe you have something there with Dominion. Like, you have dinosaurs versus giant bugs and giant spiders and shit. I'm like, okay. But they don't do that. The grasshoppers are like this big. And I wouldn't want to face a grasshopper that big, but that's still lame. It's still so lame. Yeah, I agree with you, Bugs Dad. I wish they'd lean into the horror vibe of the book for inspiration. That's the thing, like, because I've read the original Jurassic Park book, and it's good. It's good. Michael Crichton's book. It's much more of a horror novel. It's much more of a horror story, and like even the death scenes are very vividly described, and they're a lot bloodier and gore. Like, look up. I mean, of course, Dennis Nedry's death in Jurassic Park is great. It's iconic and all that, but it's G-rated compared to how he goes out in the book. I mean, like, Crichton goes into like really intimate details of how that I forget what the Dilophosaurus, how that thing fucks him up. Okay? Melts his goddamn eyeballs. It disembowels him. He feels all of his intestines falling out everywhere. He's trying to put him back inside. Bites down his head. He feels his skull cracking in the book. It's like, Jesus Christ. Right? So, yeah, it's brutal. His death in the book is brutal. He deserves it. Fuck him. But I agree with you, though. I would love it but they'll never do it. They'll never do it because it's like, oh, Jurassic Park is for kids. It's for the kiddos. And so they won't go that extra length to change it too much. But I agree with you. If they wanted to make a Jurassic Park movie that was more horror focused, that would be awesome. I'd love that. Hell, and this might be controversial thing to say, and they would probably never do it. But to actually do a closer adaptation to the original story, like to do another, like it's a Jurassic Park, fuck it. I mean, at this point, the franchise is it keeps making money. No matter what we may say, how bad all these films are, right? They're still making like $1 billion. Like, I think all three movies made like $1 billion each, as far as I know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe not as much, but still, it's $1 billion. They got over $1 billion, okay? So they're going to keep making these movies. But with the state of the franchise as it is, it's like, you know what? Fuck it. Just do a remake. Just do a remake of not the first movie, but do a remake or do another adaptation of the book, except have it be close in the book and make it more of a horror story. They will never do that, though. They will never do that. But I'm at a point now, it's like, you know what? Do this. Because based on what I just read, I was like, I am not excited for anything from this movie. Because it feels like it's just going to be Jurassic World 2.0 again. I was like, I don't want that. I don't want that. That's just me. Yeah, you got to keep it a family franchise, which is what they're going to do. Just everything based on this sounds like a family. They're going to have, no, thank you. No, thank you. Yeah, I know the dinosaurs are like abominations, and technically they're not even dinosaurs. Like, they're monsters. They're straight up fucking kaiju, so. I don't need it. I don't need it, chap. But, you know, I'll watch it. I'll review the goddamn thing. We'll see. Remember Dino Crisis? Hell yeah, I remember Dino Crisis. I still want them to remake Dino Crisis or do another entry in it. That'd be great. I need a Jurassic Park movie with a sci-fi horror like, you know, yeah. Definitely. Do what Romulus did. I mean, don't do all the goddamn unnecessary callbacks like Romulus did, but like tonally, sure, I'd be all for that. And they just can put in the, well, it's a spoiler. I don't want to say. Someone pointed out that there were subtle hints at the beginning of Jurassic Park. The park was doomed from the start. Yeah. Well, in the book, there's a shit ton. There's a shit ton where in the movie they present it more like it was just unfortunate circumstances and like an accident. The book, you realize very early on that, oh, something's wrong here. Like, this is all falling apart. I mean, Hammond in the book is very different from how he's presented in the movie. In the movie, he's Santa Claus. You know, he's like, spared no expense, like all that shit. But in the book, he's pretty evil. You know, he doesn't give a shit about the dinosaurs, doesn't give a shit about his grandkids. He's just more of like money. That's kind of what his whole character is in the movie. And like the dinosaurs are escaping routinely to the mainland. Like, they're getting out and they're like fucking up like the local population, like in Costa Rica. So, you know, and they're just not. And in the movie they also hint at, like, you know, they have like they bring up like you don't have the right flora for the dinosaurs. You pick it, like Laura Dern's character says, you pick it because it looks good, but it could be poisonous to them. And that's like with the sick Triceratops, right? Like that scene I think is supposed to represent that there's something wrong in the park. But in the book there's a lot more. There's a lot more. So anyway. If they given Bayona this last trilogy from the start, Trevorrow had no involvement whatsoever, we probably could have gotten the horror thing you're talking about, but no. Yeah, I would have liked that, but they're just not going to do that. Universal's just the only way they would do that is if they just don't spend $250 million on the movie. But that's exactly what they're doing. You know, they're just going to like, hey, who gives a fuck of the quality? These make $1 billion, so just keep doing the same goddamn thing. People are clearly going to go see it. Like, the Dominion, in my opinion, is the worst movie in the franchise, and it made so much goddamn money. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see. One thing was the seatbelt. Oh, the seatbelt's in a helicopter. That's a good point. Yeah, I was like, oh, that's not good. Yeah, more sci-fi horror. That's what I would love. I would love that.